You are live now, ma'am. You can start.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Hello, students. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this session again. And we are learning the GST in Tele. How can we implement the GST in Tele? Anybody have some doubt regarding the previous session? Okay, so let me share the Tele screen. See, yesterday we completed in the case of suppose we are having only the goods of single category. So how can we apply the GST? And also in the case of multiple category, how can we apply the GST on different kinds of goods? Okay, so these was our transactions yesterday. Today I am going to give you the more understanding on GST in case of debit return and credit return. Then how can it will be adjusted? So first of all, just check the GST report which is we created yesterday. GSTR1. It's from 1st April to till 1st June. We already have entered the transactions. Okay, these are our transactions. One is B2B. Like so many invoices are B2B invoices. B2B invoices are known as a business to business. And at the end, we entered a one B2C transaction. That was the business to consumer transaction. Now, second, again, it is a business to consumer large invoices. This is the export invoices. We will also understand the export invoices. First of all, I'm going to give you the understanding of credit note, debit note. Okay. In case of returns, we should generate the credit note, or if there is a purchase return, then we should generate the debit note. And whatever the credit note for us, it is the debit note for the creditor. So both the things are same, but this is the unregistered and this is the unregistered. Now I'm going to first I should check the balance of my CGST SGST account. See, it's a 3150. Yesterday I told you after adjustment, because we adjusted the conveyance charges CGST SGST, because this is not eligible for input tax credit. So now I'm going to pay the CGST SGST whatever is remaining. F5 payment, control F, state payment, GST, tax other than reverse charge, 16216. CGST account debit, it's a 3150. Then again, SGST account debit, SGST account debit 3150. Then cess is also, that is 3.50 and 2 cash. Now our CGST SD account is nil. Okay. Now we are moving to the July transactions. Okay, we are moving to the July transactions. Suppose on 1st July, F9. Okay, F9, that is invoice number 007. On 1st July, so first we should change the mode, because now this time I should pass the item invoice. On 1st July, I again purchase the sugar, sugar 1000 kg, right? CGST, SGST and cess. Okay, I purchased the sugar 1000 kg from Aman Traders on 1st July. But on 2nd July, I return out of 1000 kg, I return 20 kg packet. Okay, on 2nd July, I return out of 1000 kg, I return 20 kg. So there should be the debit note. We already learned these concepts. Huh? What is debit note? What is credit note? Because today almost we are going to, we completed the 80% course, 80 to 85% course. So we already learned these concepts. Debit note. To whom we are returning? Aman traders. Control A, control A. Now it should be the purchase return account should be created because I told you why purchase return account should be created. Then purchases. Rest options are should be same because on purchases 5% category is applied. 5% category. Okay, control A. It's a goods. Then sugar. We return sugar and 20 kg sugar. Enter, enter, enter. CGST, SGST should be returned because we cannot claim the ITC while we are returning the 20 kg. CGST, SGST and CES. GST details. So you should provide the GST details. Okay. So it is, you can pass it in the sales return or others. Enter and then note was 007. Here should be against reference 007. We return 20 kg against 007. Okay, now you can check the reports. Display more reports. Statement of accounts. Oh, sorry. Statutory reports, GST reports, GSTR 1. Should be from 17. Right, here it is not because we are checking GSTR 1. So we should check GSTR 3B, C. Step 2, July, 2nd July. Net input tax credit. Now, suppose we sold out the items, vouchers F8 to Donald Traders. Control A, then sales account. And we sold out the sugar. How much? Complete 980 kgs. At the rate of 65 rupees. Then CGST is there. SGST should be there. CES should be there. Enter, enter, enter. You should create a new reference sales 004. Now we have to make the credit note because the party returned me, then other vouchers, then credit. To whom? Donald Traders. Control A, control A. Then again you should, otherwise you can like select the sales account also. Then sugar. What they are returning? Sugar. How much kg? 10 kg. Then CGST. Because see, treatment should be given whether it is debit note or credit note. Says. Party detail, this is sales return. And buyer's debit note, if you have buyer's debit note, then you can enter. Otherwise, no. Against reference, against which reference? Sales 004. Now you can check the transaction of, it will reflect in your reports. Reports, state reports, GST reports, GSTR 1. Alt F2, 17227. See, credit note or debit note, 650. Because see, you pass the debit note, it will be reflect in your Aman Traders return because whatever the debit note is for you, it is credit note for the Aman Traders. And now you generate the credit note and it is 650 rupees is affected in your GSTR 1. So automatically it will be reduced from CGST, SGST. You can check again the account books. Account books, ledger, CGST. Alt F2. Okay. See, first in the sales, you have taken the ITC 1592, but by generating the credit note, you reverse the you reverse the output tax, GST tax, that is 16.5%. 25. Is it clear? Is it clear? How can we give the treatment in the case of sales return and purchase return? Just answer me and then I can move ahead. Everybody have the company, same company. Na? Yesterday we created the same company. Slowly. Okay. Okay, I'm waiting. Just try to generate the credit note, debit note. How to carry it forward? It automatically carried forward in the next month, Ranjit, because you created the one ledger, na? So what? For that you haven't required to give the treatment. No, we don't require to create the purchase return ledger for each type of product. No, only one purchase return. See, purchase return ledger, why we created the purchase return ledger? Because of the P&L format. Otherwise, we should not create the purchase return ledger. I told you in the time of credit note, na, no need to create the sales return. ITC will automatically enable. No need to enable it separately. No, today's work. Today I am going to give you the understanding of credit note, debit note. So what you shut the company? Just open the company, yesterday company. See, you have to prepare before live event should be start. You should prepare with open the company, select the company. Otherwise, see, you cannot follow me, na? International transactions. Yes, Saira, I am going to give you the international transactions explanation also. Anything remaining? A credit note and debit note is a very simple in GST because we already created, na, we already learned the debit note, credit note. In the case of GST, you have to give the treatment to the CGST, SGST and cess also in the case of like if you have the cess. You already learned the debit note, credit note. Within that sessions, we already learned the credit note, debit note, na? Then, is it clear? Should I move ahead? Still students are joining. Anybody have some problem? I already told you a very simple transaction of debit note, credit note. That's it. Okay. Done. Thank you. Okay. Now today I'm going to give you the understanding of RCM, reverse charge mechanism. Anybody knows what is it? Anybody knows what is it? I'm going to give you the clarification of RCM, that is reverse charge mechanism. I told you while in the theory session of GST, you cannot pay the GST to the unregistered dealer. And Tally itself will not calculate the GST to the unregistered dealer. For example, suppose just you checked suppose I am purchasing the item from Aman Traders. In Aman Trade, who is Aman Traders? Aman Trader is a registered. In purchases, suppose I am purchasing the sugar. Okay, sugar 1000 kg. And I want to calculate the CGST. The calculation is there, na? Calculation is there. But in case I am having the unregistered dealer, the tally will not give you the calculation. Because to unregistered dealer, you cannot pay the sugar. You should not pay the CGST, SGST, or you should not provide the treatment of GST in the case of purchase from unregistered dealer. Okay, so RCM will be applied. Now the concept is, please check the items on which RCM is applied. I'm giving you the common concept. You should check the items on which RCM is applied. Okay, I'm giving the common concept. Now the thing is that in the case of RCM, reverse charge mechanism, what is reverse charge mechanism? If you are purchasing the items from unregistered dealer, then in that case you have to apply the RCM concept, that is reverse charge mechanism. In the case of reverse charge mechanism, the entries will be like this. Just check. Okay, suppose purchases the items from unregistered dealer. Okay, these are the items which I purchased, that is sugar 1000 kg at the rate of 45. Okay, at the rate of 45. In this case, you cannot provide the GST treatment to the dealer. For example, the entry will be purchase account debit 45,000 to unregistered dealer. Very simple. Okay, but you have to provide the treatment of GST as per the government rule. You have to pay whatever the GST is there on 45,000, whatever the GST is there, CGST, SGST, and cess, you have to pay in cash to the government. You have to pay the cash to the government. But how you can pay the cash to the government? Because while first of all, I should clear my GST account. I should complete my GST account. I should pay the amount, rest amount, 1st July to 31st July. CGST 473.75 by SGST same 473.75 by cess. It's a 9.47. Okay, 9.47. Now, your CGST SGST account is nil. Your CGST SGST is accounted nil, and you purchased the items from unregistered dealer. So CGST SGST haven't any balance. So how you can pay the amount to the government? By increasing the GST. By increasing the GST. So to increase the GST, entry will be, okay, just assume what will be the entry? Because if you want to increase your liability, then to CGST to SGST. Because if you want to increase the liability, then credit should be there to cess. Then what will be the debited? What will be the debited? You should create a one adjustment account under asset. It is your fictitious asset. It is your fictitious asset. Okay. It is your fictitious asset. So first I should calculate 45,000 Calci. $45,000 multiplied by 2.5%. How much it is? 1125. Okay. And then says how much percentage of cess I should check on sugar? Alter is the classification 5%. It is 0.05. So I can calculate here also 45,000 multiplied by 0.05. It is 45,000 multiplied by 0.05%. It is 2250. So what will be the entry? It is from CGST. We should increase the CGST by 1125. Again SGST by 1125 and cess by 22.50. So the total amount should be debited. Total amount should be debited. How much it is? It is 2272. 2272. Is it? This entry can be done in Tally because you have to increase the CGST, SGST and cess. Now, after paying, when you pay the amount, when you pay the amount to the department in cash. Okay, pay the amount department in cash. So what will be the entry? CGST account debit by how much? 1125. SGST account debit by how much? 1125. cess account debit by 22.50 to cash. To cash. Is it clear? Is it clear? We have to pay in cash. This is the rule. 72.50. Is it clear? The entries are clear or not? 3 entries. I completed the 3 entries, so it is clear or not? RCM, that is reverse charge mechanism. Once you told us credit note issued to the creditor. No, it's not possible. Credit note issued to the debtor. In the case of debtor, see sales return. Credit note is a sales return. Please, maybe maybe I was wrong. By mistake, I told you, but this is not right. Yes, in RCM, buyer has to pay the GST to the government. I told you the entries now. Supplier will not pay, na? We will pay the tax to the government because the items falls under RCM and they are the unregistered dealer. How they pay to the GST to the government? Yes, recipient of the goods is liable to pay the tax. Yes, Deepak, correct. Recipient of the goods services pay the tax instead of supplier of goods. Yes, correct. Recipient is liable to pay the tax. Yes. No, Bhumika, buyer will not pay. Buyer cannot pay the GST to the government because buyer is not registered. How it is possible? If he is not registered, so he cannot pay the GST to the government. Yes. Receiver will pay. Recipient will pay. Yes, correct, correct, correct. So many students are giving me the correct answer. Yes, services rendered by the lawyer. We have to pay the GST in RCM. Yes. So many, see, I'm giving you the common concept. I'm not telling you the sugar, on sugar RCM will be applied. You have to check on the net or you have to check by, because see, amendments are there. So I'm giving you the common concept. Maybe Priyanshi, I was wrong, but see, credit note should be issued by the credit note should be issued to the debtor. Okay, so entries are clear now. 3 entries. Now the last entry, because see, we pay the GST on the behalf of buyer. So we have to take the ITC. We have to take the ITC. Okay, so we pay the GST on behalf of our debtor, our creditor. Okay, we pay the GST on behalf of creditor. See, in case of registered dealer, I should pay the GST to the creditor because purchase account debit, CGST account debit, SGST account debit to creditor. I have to pay the whole amount to the creditor. Okay, but in this case, if the creditor is not registered, then instead of creditor, we have to pay the GST in cash to the department, and these entries will be passed. Now the last entry for increasing our ITC. Why increasing our ITC? Because we pay the GST on behalf of our creditor. So for that again entry will be GST account debit. Because in case of you want to increase the ITC, then in that case CGST, SGST should be debited. By how much amount? 1125. SGST account 1125. Then cess account 1125. No, it's a 22.50. Two. Now what account should be credited? Because we already created a one fictitious account, that is adjustment account. So to adjustment account. By whole amount 2272.50. These are the entries you should pass by in the case of RCM. No matter whatever the item is there, but item should be applied for RCM. Is it clear? These are the 4 entries. If you are purchasing from the unregistered dealer, then first entry will be purchase to unregistered dealer. Then increase the amount of GST, adjustment account debit to CGST to SGST to cess. Then we have to pay the amount cash to the government. And then for increasing the ITC, this entry can be passed, should be passed. CGST account debit, SGST account debit, cess account debit to adjustment. Any doubt in these entries? Any doubt? Just answer me. I'm waiting, huh? Just answer me. Should I start practicals in Tally by entering the date Tally? What is the name of adjustment account? Only adjustment account. You can like write the any kind of name A, B, C, D adjustment for RCM, anything, but it should be under current assets. You can use the suspense account, but basically adjustment account should be there. Okay, so I'm going to pass these entries in our Tally. First of all, you should create a one unregistered dealer. First of all, you should create a one unregistered dealer. Create ledger unregistered dealer account. Enter. It should be sundry creditor. Enter. Enter 50. Now you should provide here the details, that is unregistered or consumer. Unregistered because it is our unregistered. Okay, yesterday I told you consumer in case of sales, but in that case there is no like matter he is registered or not, because while selling we have to collect the GST. Control A. Then voucher. F9. F9. If you wish, then you can find out the items on which RCM is applied. Items on which RCM applied. Okay. So supply of goods, Keshav nuts, not shale dot please supply of Keshav nuts to a registered person, but supply of import of goods and services. Just a minute, I need to check. Reverse charge mechanism. List of reverse charge mechanism. Goods transport agencies, arbitral tribunal sponsorship services, special services, insurance agent. These are the services. Okay, these are the some services. I'm assuming supply of goods and services. Wait a minute, I need to RCM list. tobacco leaves. So I'm going to create the tobacco leaves item. Create stock items. Enter kgs. Or we can create the tons also now, but I'm taking here the kgs control. Now, suppose I purchased these leaves from unregistered dealer, and he is my unregistered. Control A. Make sure you selected the GST registration type should be unregistered. Then purchase account. Tobacco leaves 1000 kgs. Then 1250 is a rate. Enter. Now CGST. It will not calculate the CGST. Why so? Why so? Because it is we are purchasing from unregistered dealer. So it will not calculate the GST. It will not calculate the GST. Yes, Pavitra, while interest calculation we should raise credit note to the creditor. I told you in the time of interest calculation. So please correct it. See, I tried my best, but maybe sometimes, maybe like the confusion is there. Used vehicle. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Now, because of the unregistered dealer, it is not calculating the amount. So you should press end of list here. End of list here. Right now, but the moment you purchased this item from unregistered dealer, it will just check your reports of statutory report GSTR 3B. All tab to 1, I think so it was 17, okay. 2.7. See, exempted, nil rated and non-GST inward supplies. 12,050. It is because we purchased from unregistered dealer. So in that case, we have to provide the treatment because we have to pay the cash to the government, but still CGST, SGST balances. There is no balance of CGST, SGST. There is no balance of CGST, SGST. If you wish, then again you can press here and from here you can check like more details. More details. GST. The related reports. GST tax analysis. See. What is the tax analysis? Local purchase, it's exempt. In tobacco leaf 2461, 12,000, 12,50,000. 12,50,000. Though you used the purchase account in purchase account, when you create the tobacco leaf, just check. When you create the tobacco leaf, then 18% category is there. 18% category is there, but it is not calculating the tax. So for that, you have to increase the liability first because you want to pay the liability of your supplier. So from here, just pass the JB entry, and here is again the option is state adjustment. You are passing the state adjustment entry for what? You want to increase in the tax liability. And for what this is the additional nature you have to, because you purchased from unregistered dealer. So that's why you are increasing in your increasing the tax liability. Okay, and both are the same. You purchase under reverse charge from unregistered dealer or registered dealer. If it is registered dealer, but still if the items applied for reverse charge, then you can select that. Presently, I'm selecting this. Then CGST should be calculated. First is adjustment account. It should be under current assets. Then no GST will be applicable here. Control A. Now the total amount is again just calculate it. 12,50,000 multiplied by 18% is 2,25,000 and 12,50,000 multiplied by 0.00101, no? 0.01%. Like 50,000 multiplied by 0.01%. It's 125. 225 plus 125. So 225, 225, 125. Enter. To CGST. 9% on 12,50,000. Enter. It's a 1,225,000 divided by 2. It's 1,12,500. Then to SGST. It's again 1,12,500. Rest is cess. Now your 0.01 on this. Now your duties is increased. Now you have to provide the detail you purchased from unregistered dealer. Control A. Then enter. Now you can check in the reports. Display more reports. State reports. GST report. GSTR. F2 17227. Now no correction needed because we passed the correct entries. Okay. Now see. Oh, 3. Alt F2 14227. So exempt nil rated in non-GST. Then okay. Because you purchased from unregistered dealer. You purchase and you can check the annual computation also. In the annual computation, again it is there. Inward supplies on tax is to be paid on reverse charge basis. Okay. Now we are going to pay the tax. I told you the entry. How can you pay the tax? By passing the payment. Control F. State payment, GST. Then tax reverse charge. First to 1st July to 2nd July. Then payment is CGST account debit. Complete payment you have to pay. Because you have to pay in cash, complete payment. By SGST, 1,12,500. By cess, 125 to cash. And again, you have to provide the details. That's it. Enter. Now, what should you do? The last entry is increasing in ITC. So, by again passing the JV, general entry, here is the option of state adjustment. Stated GST Now you are going to increase in ITC. Increasing. Why you are going to increase in ITC? Because purchase from unregistered dealer. So CGST account debit 9% on 12,50,000. 112,500. By SGST 112,500. Then by cess 125. It's 0.01. 125 to IGST to adjustment account. Now your adjustment account is write off. Okay. Provide GST detail to from whom you purchase unregistered dealer. Control A, Control A. Now you can check finally your report. Complete. Now your ITC is reflected by, see here, inward supplies liable to reverse charge. 1 lakh to 12,500, 1 lakh to total 2,25,120. Now please raise the query. Raise the query if you have. Otherwise you have to, if you are doing simultaneously, then do the simultaneously. No. Stock item C. You can create the settings of our stock items. Okay. Alter stock item, that is tobacco leaves. Here. See, I only like set it as per the company group. And as per the company group, because you set the 18% on at the time of company creation, then you can alter here, use for reverse charge. Applied the reverse charge. Applicable for reverse charge. Then Control A. Right? Is it clear? And this is your return. I'm going to tell you about the entries also, huh? This is your return in state reports, GST reports, and your computation. Have to complete. Just check my complete return. Complete return. Because I'm sure you are doing simultaneously, na? See. Total input tax credit after reversal and ineligible credit. And then here is a reversal of input adjustment and ineligible input credit is declared. Yesterday we also checked the ineligible. Then just press enter. It will show you. This is inward supplies liable to reverse charge. And if you wish, then you can check. See, if your return is correct, na, then uncertain transaction is 0. See, presently uncertain transaction is 0. You can check the 3B also. Alt F2 from 14 to 31st 3. Exempt nil rated and non-GST inward supplies. Is it clear? Tax on outward and reverse charge inward supplies. It is also included here also. Do it yourself. I'm giving you the 5 minutes. Just check. Okay, I'm showing you all the entries which I performed today. Paybook. Then Alt F2 1st July to 2nd July. Instead of credit note, debit note, you should check. First is a purchase. We don't want to check this now. adjustment, then Ronald. It should not, yeah, because you don't want to check the debit note, credit note. You only want to check the entries on for reverse charge. So I'm hiding these entries. See, these are the entries which I passed. I told you about the 5 entries, na? Alt F2, Alt F1, and F12 in sequence of entry. You can sort the entries in sequence of entries. First, I pass the purchase entry. This is my purchase entry. Okay, this is my purchase entry. Then I pass the second entry for increasing the CGST, SGST, this one. And then we make the payment, this one. Should be. See, first I pass the purchase entry, then I increase my liability, then I payment to the government in cash. Then the fourth one is I have taken the ITC. Just do it fast, huh? I'm giving you the minutes. Do it fast. Okay. Is it complete? Message me, huh? In case of multiple goods, you can apply the multiple rates. There should be only one debit note, credit note. No, it's not necessary to write the narration for all, huh? It's not necessary. If you completed these entries, so should I move for the next? Should I move for the next? Anybody answered me? Okay. So these are the 4 entries which we should pass. Okay. Now, same thing is, if we receive the advances from debtors, then again there is a rule. Okay, I'm not, see, you should check the amendments. You should check the amendments only. I'm giving you the concept. Because so many amendments are there. So first you should check the amendments. But in the case of advances, what treatment should be given to the GST? Same, suppose I'm getting the advances from the debtor. Okay, I'm getting the advances from the debtor in case of advance received. So in case of advance received, again the rule is if you are receiving the advances from the debtor and sales is not happened. So whatever the GST on that much of amount, you have to pay in cash to the government. But still sales is not happened. And whatever the amount you are receiving, you should assume that is inclusive of GST. That amount is inclusive of GST. And what will be the entries? Now suppose I receive the cash account debit and I assume the item whichever my debtor, the sale will be happen for my debtor, that will be the under 18% category. He provide me 10 lakh rupees as advance. Okay, 10 lakh rupees, 10 lakh 18,000. You should make it round figure. 10 lakh 18,000 is he provide me in a cash. Now to debtor, I received this amount from my debtor 11 lakh 80,000. 10 lakh is, we assumed 10 lakh is a sales figure and 18 lakh is a tax. That means these amount is inclusive of tax. So now the treatment to be given, because again we have to pay the government in the cash 18 lakh rupees. So again we have to increase the liability and the same entry will be there, adjustment account debit 18 lakh 1 lakh 80,000 to CGST account 1 lakh 80,000. This entry should be for increasing of tax, increasing of liability. Adjustment account debit, not 1 lakh 80,000. It should be, the cess should be there, na 0.001. So it should be 1 lakh. You should use the calc to calculate the 10 lakh multiplied by 0.001%, 0.01%, and 100 rupees should be included in this amount. 100 rupees, okay? 100. So it is 11 lakh 80,100. 11 lakh 80,100. And then here 100. Then 90,000 is for CGST to SCST. Again 90,000. 90,000. And again to cess 100 rupees. Is it clear? So we increase the liability and we pay the amount to the, just assume we pay the amount to the government just by CGST account debit by 90,000, SGST account debit again 90,000, cess debit 100 rupees to cash 1 lakh 80,100. Now next, now we pay the liability. Now suppose sales happens and debtors account debit. Okay, and the sales happens for 15 lakh rupees. For 15 lakh rupees. So the total, you should calculate again. Calculate again on 15 lakh. 15 lakh. What will be the 18% is 2,70,000. Divide by 2. That is 1,35,000 we receive as a CGST, SGST. Then 150 as a cess. So I should enter complete amount 2,70,000 and 150 plus 15 lakh. So that is 17 lakh 70,000 150. Total sales happen. Now but out of this, the sales is to sales 15 lakh and to CGST is 1,35,000. To SGST is 1,35,000. Then to sales, that is 150. 150. Now again my liability generated by 2,70,000 150. But out of 2,70,000 150, I already paid 1,80,100. So I need to adjust that amount. Is it clear? I need to adjust that amount. So while adjusting, you have to debit CGST, SDFC to adjustment like previous entries in RCM. Is it clear? Is it clear? Please give me the answer. Is it clear in the case of advances what treatment should be given? Answer me. I'm waiting. Is it clear or you need again? I should clear it again. What is advances? What the kind of treatment should be given to the advances? Aishwarya, please talk about whatever I am asking you the question. See, in the assignments, you should write some narrations, na? But please talk about the current scenario, whatever I'm telling you. You should answer me. Are you getting? If I'm receiving the advances from debtor, then there should be the treatment given to the GST in the case of advances. You should assume it. You should assume it. You should assume it. This is the inclusive of tax. Adjustment account comes under current assets. Okay. Okay, listen carefully. Suppose I'm getting the advances from my debtor. One of debtor came to me and he told me he have spare amount and he want to pay me. So I cannot deny. I have to collect the amount from my debtor. The amount whichever debtor gives me, that is 11,80,100. Because of the round figure, I assume it. 11,80,100. He paid me in cash as advance. Now, and he told me next month he will purchase from me, my side, my company. So as per the government rule, I have to give the treatment to the advances. I should assume it is the inclusive of tax. And I should pay to the government in cash, like in the previous concept, that is RCM. So after collecting the cash from the debtor, I have to provide the treatment, GST treatment to that entry. Then I have to increase the GST, SGST cess by debiting the adjustment account. And I have to pay that amount to the government in cash. Completed. Now suppose sales happens, next month sales happens for 15 lakh rupees. So for 15 lakh, I collected the, I enter the entry, I debited the debtor by 17 lakh 70,150. Two sales 15 lakh, two CGST 1,35,000, two SGST 1,35,000, two sales 150. While I already pay the, on behalf of my debtor, that debtor I already pay the amount to the government. So I should decrease the liability now. I should not pay the complete amount to the government because part amount I already pay. Is it clear? I already paid the part amount now. Is it clear? See, students, you are attending the class and the concept, GST concept is running on, going on. So if you are not getting properly, from last 3 days we are learning. So just like try to read out from the portal also. Because see, this is where these are very important concept. I cleared the RCM. Then on advances, I am going to give the treatment. Is it? I'll give you one assignment and we will do it simultaneously. Okay. For the complete like GST. In that assignment, complete concepts are there. Okay. Okay, fine. Now start the entering the entry. Create ledgers Indore debtor account. Sundry debtor. 15 days and I have to enter a one GST registration number also na. This is the MPGST number. Enter, 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 enter. Now press F11 key. Then you should check the settings. Everything is correct. Now Control A. Now you receive the amount from debtor. But while passing the F6 entry, there is an option of state adjustment. And here it is advance receipt. You have to pass the entry of advance receipt. And in the case of refund, then you have to click on the refund of advance payment. But advance receipt is there. Enter. Now you are getting the amount in cash from Indore debtor. How much amount? See, it is showing me which item sales account. Okay, in amount is advance amount is 11,80,100. 11,80,100, but it is again it is in the, it is not the round figure, na. 1 lakh 18,010. It is taking 10 to just a minute. I should take in the round figure. This 1180 is a cess. 1180 means 0.01. So it's a correct, na? 1180. 1,18,000 and 1,18,000 and 11.80. Taxable value should be in a round figure. 11.80. Just a minute, huh? To check F11, how much we configured for default category is. We should check the default category is. What is the default category? F11. Then GST. The default category is 18.9 and 0.01. Okay. While selling the items for 1 lakh rupees, Control N. Lakh rupees. Okay, I'm taking 1 lakh. 1 lakh rupees. Then 18%. Then it's 18,000. Okay. And then 1 lakh rupees multiplied by 0.01%. It's 10. 1,18,010. So it is correct. Okay. 2. So just pass the state adjustment. Alt J. Then advanced receipt. And then Indore data. Sales account. Then advance amount is 1,18,010. Okay. Not applicable. Okay. Now first you should check how much amount it is showing the as a GST. It's 10,620.90. Okay, 10,620.90. And 11.80 as a cess. 11.80 as a cess. Then enter. But it is not reflecting in your CGST, SGST account. Then you are receiving in cash. You are receiving in cash. You receive the cash amount 1,18,010. Now you have to increase the liability because as per the rule, you have to pay the cash. Enter, enter. Then first you should increase the liability by pressing F7. And there is an option of state adjustment. Then GST. Increase in tax liability. Why you are increasing in tax liability? On account of advance receipt. Is it clear? Then by you have to increase then by adjustment account. So just debit the adjustment account. By how much amount you should debit? By how much amount you should debit? You should debit. By how much amount you should debit? You should debit whatever the GST was there. 10,620 plus 10,620 plus 11.80 and to CGST. How much? 9% on 1 lakh 18, 1 lakh. Ten, 6, 2, 0, right? Again, you have to calculate 10, 6, 2, 0 divided by 100 divided by 9. 1 lakh 18,000. Yes, 9% of 1 lakh 18,000. So 10, 6, 2, 0. Again to SGST 10, 6, 2, 0. 10, 6, 2, 0. Enter. Then says now increase the liability. You increase the liability. Okay. And GST details. To whom you are getting the advances? Indore debtor. Control A. Then now you increase the liability. Now you have to pay in cash. Control A. Control A. You have to pay in cash. Then F5 payment. Then it's cash. CGST account debit. 5, 10, 6, 2, 0. By CGST 10, 6, 2, 0. By says 11.80 to adjustment account. To cash. Is it clear? You pay in cash. You receive the amount from debtor, and whatever the amount you receive, you assume this is your, it is inclusive of tax. You calculate the amount on that and you pay the government, you pay the liability to the government. Now the sales happens. Okay, first of all, you have to check the reports. Display more reports, account, state reports, GST report, GSTR1, and then 142, 31st 3. This is tax liability on advance received. Tax liability on advance received 1,18,000, 10,620, 10,620, 11.80. Is it clear? The concepts are very important. Concepts are very important. So first, if you are not getting properly, then just like give me the query. I'm regularly replying your query. I'm regularly reading your queries. Yes, Mohammed, tomorrow we will do the one assignment. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Entries are clear or not? Now, in the next month, sales happens. Okay, in the next month, sales happens. Then what will be the entry? Vouchers, F8. F8. Now, here is Indore debtor account debit. Sales account credit. And what item he purchased from me? My side, tobacco leaves. 1000 kgs. At the rate of 1500. So he purchased for 15 lakh rupees. Now what CGST, SGST will be there? CGST. Okay. Because this is the, you should like sold out the sugar. How much we are having? 10 kgs we are having only. Okay, I am selling it in a negative. Okay, tobacco leaves I am having it is not calculating the thousand kg. It is not calculating. Just a check. Check. I need to check it out, huh? Okay, if I'm taking sugar, then kg 100 rupees. It is not calculating. Just check. Okay, I'm selling the tobacco kg 1000 and 1500. 15 lakh sale. Okay. Then enter list, enter new reference, that is sales 05. Now I should check my return because it's not calculating the F2 142 31st. Adjustment of advances is again pending. So I have to adjust advance receipts. I'm sure the entry which I passed for the increasing of CGST, SGST, maybe in mistake is there. Just I need to check it out. Please wait. Is correct. And while receiving the advance amount, I should check again. This one. Second July, and whatever the I am passing the entry, that is okay. Now we need to adjust it because we already pay. Then there is an option of state adjustment. State adjustment. Then state adjustment again, and press F7 key and then state adjustment. GST increase in it should be decrease in tax liability because sales against advance receipts. Sales against advance receipts. So CGST account debit by that much of amount, 9% on 1,18,000. That is again 10,620. 10,620. 10,620. Then by SGST 10,620. Then by cess, you have to adjust because you already pay na 01. It's a 11.80. And you have to complete your adjustment account. Now your adjustment account is nil. In the data. Control A, control. This kind of entries should be there in case of advances, in case of RCA. See, I'm planning tomorrow. I'll give first of all, today today or tomorrow, by tomorrow morning, I'll send you one assignment and we will do it simultaneously. Okay. Any query? Bhumika will do the simultaneously exercise tomorrow itself. Okay. Then please, but before that, you should like listen the recording clearly. Is it? Now I'm going to tell you about the export invoice. Export invoice. In the case of export invoice, you have to set first F11. Then there is an option of, in that case, LUT bond should be enabled. That is letter of undertaking. So F12 key, there is an option of show more configuration. F12 key. Breakup of tax rate, additional. Today. I need to check the configuration again. Today. F11. Not F12. See, provide LUT bond details. Yes. Okay, where we find it? When you set it yes, na, at the first option, then you will find it in a option that is F12. In a F12, there is an option of provide LUT bond details. LUT bond details. Enter, enter. Provide LUT bond. Yes. Now you have to provide a one LUT bond detail number. LUT bond detail. LUT bond detail number. So it is applicable from 1/4 to 31st March. Whatever the period is there. Okay. And this is the format of LUT. LUT dash HG. This is my LUT bond number. Okay, in that case only I can export now. I can make the export invoice. Then you have to create a one data ledger USA. Okay, I'm taking here the JB Donaldson USA. Enter sundry data. Then the country should be changed because it's not belong from Madhya Pradesh. So change the country. United States of America. Alabama. Okay. Enter, enter, enter. Right. Now when you sold to the this data, then no GST will be there. F8. This is your export invoice. Okay. This is your export invoice. Then the moment you select it, JB Donaldson, then it is asking for the details. Then provide export details, because it is not asking for the export details. Then here is a provide export details. Enter. Then just provide the export details. Place of receipt by shipper. Flight number. This AI821. That is my flight number. Port of, that is USA. Port of discharge, that is, again I am typing here the USA. Country to United States of America. Shipping bill number. Then date. It's 27 and port code. This one. Enter. Then GST registration type it is asking. Place of supply. You can provide the country or not applicable. Okay. Then you have to create a one export sales ledger again. Sales the account, because in this case this should be the exempt. Applicable. Then specify the details here. Specify this should be the exempt, because export invoice is exempt. Control A. Then you exported the sugar 10 kgs. It's 1000 rupees. Now no CGST will be there. Okay. Then end of list. This is your details, export invoice details. I told you about the currency. You can pass in the dollars also. Display more reports, state reports, GST reports, GSTR 1. All period. F2 142 31st03. Here it is not, so I should correct it. It's match. Because I provide the HSN detail now. HSN detail should not be there. GST and details should be altered. You can set according to the company group and specify the details here exact. Right now it is there. See, export invoices 6A. With LOT bond, you have to provide a one LOT bond. Unless until LOT bond is there, not there, then it will not permit you to exempt the invoice. Export invoice should be exempt by providing the bond number. You have to configure one bond number. Yes, should be anyone. Yes, Goswami, anything. Is it clear? We completed almost the concept of GSTs. Almost the concept of GST. Anything else you want to ask from your side? Otherwise, I'm moving for the next. Like, according to the time I am taking for the TDS topic. Anybody wants to ask something? Okay, just a minute, huh? LUT bond now. See, F11, then GST. In the first GST setting, while enabling this, just press F12 key. There is an option of LUT, letter of undertaking. Then there is an option of LUT bond number here. Then I provided here the LUT bond number. Is it clear? Only in that case we can exempt the export invoice. Anything else? It's a very vast topic, so I cannot say that it's complete. But almost a concept we completed here. It needs more practice. It needs more practice. Is it? Okay. Next, I'm going to start the TDS concept. Okay, TDS concept. What is TDS exactly? I told you about in India, there are two kinds of taxes. One is direct and second one is indirect tax. So TDS is what? Tax deducted source. Tax deducted source means what? Employer, there is a one duty of employer while giving the payment to the employee, the company has to deduct the TDS from the employee salary. If it is, the threshold limit is there. What is threshold limit? If you are earning more than, if you are earning, if you are taking the payment more than 30,000 from your employer, in that case, TDS should be deducted. And it is a duty of employer, the TDS should be deducted. Anybody wants to more clarification on it? I'm sure because you are the student of the cost accountant. So it's not like that ki you're not aware with the TDS. You're aware with the TDS. Only I need to give the brush up. Is it? So TDS is what? TDS employer while giving the payment to the employee, employer has to deduct the TDS from employee salary, and it's not like that employer will keep it in his pocket, your TDS amount. No, he will deposit your TDS amount to the government by referencing your PAN number. That is permanent account number. That is your permanent account number. And you can check on the net by login at incometaxindia.efiling.gov.in website. This is a website where you can create your ID with your PAN number, and you can check your form number 26A, how much amount is deposited by your employers. If you are getting the payment from the different employer, then employers. And if you are getting a payment from one employer, then you can check only for the one employer how much amount he deposited on behalf of you as a TDS. Is it clear? Yes, section 192 for there are different sections. I'm moving ahead, but first the basic concept. Okay, now the next is the threshold limit is 30,000, and the thing is there are different sections available under which we have to deduct the TDS from the employee salary. From the employee salary. And in case absence of PAN number, 20% will be deducted. 20% will be deducted, and rest according to the rule you have to check how much percentage you have to deduct. On the net it is given the table for the TDS sections. Is it clear? Now I'm going to give you the clarification of TDS sections. TDS sections in rates for 2024 and 25. See, these are the sections. Section 192, TDS on salary 10%. If the income exceeds the basic exemption limit, that's mean 30,000 is a threshold limit. 194A, TDS on interest or other than interest on securities. 194C, TDS on payment to contractors. 1% for individual, and so on. There are so many sections under which you have to deduct the TDS. You have to deduct the TDS. But in Tally, how can we apply these things? In Tally, how can we apply the TDS? Babu, what your question is? Ma'am, you are increasing and decreasing RCM and advanced GST methods. How can we know debtor creditors detail? I'm not getting properly. Just give me the proper, just ask the proper question. If you are still having the doubts regarding the GST, then just please raise the questions. I'll give you the clarification. Okay, so I'm moving for the TDS. In Tally, how can you apply the TDS? For first of all, I'm going to shut this company by pressing company, shut company, Control F3. I'm shutting down all the companies. Company, shut company. Now I'm going to create a new company on which we will apply the TDS. So create a company. Then TDS, first TDS example. Control A. The moment you press the Control A, you are getting the F11 shortcut key. for the company feature. Here, first of all, you should disable the GST and enable the TDS. While enabling the TDS, you are asking for the TEN registration number. TEN and PEN, the formats are different. In a TEN, 4 characters, 5 numbers, and 1 character. And it is deducted type is company and deductor branch division. You can set here the branch division also. Then responsible person who will pass the entries for the TDS deduction. So you can set it yes and enter here the details. For example, Ankit, then daughter of Mr. Jain, anything like, but I am skipping this. Control A. Ignore IT exemption limit. No. Presently, I'm not setting it. Yes. Control A. Control A. The moment you set the TDS, you are getting create TDS nature of payment. Okay, you are getting TDS nature of payment. Now, nature of payment is, suppose it is fees for professional technical services. (194J). And payment code. One payment code is there, remittance code is there. Transporter category, no. Software realty, no. Royalty, no. Relaxation in rates of no. Single bill, because no single bill rule is there. With the pen, it should be 10%. Without pen, it should be 20%. If it is not coming, then again press F12 key. And please set all yes to everything. You should not set yes to this because allow calculating tax on value exceeding the threshold. No. Now, what is threshold limit? 30,000 rupees for 194J. For 194J, it is 30,000 rupees. Okay. Now you should check the entries. What entries we should pass in case of TDS? Okay, in case of TDS, TDS entries. Now you have to pass first salary payable entry. Salary payable account debit. How much? It is 50,000 rupees. Okay. And to CMA Ajay Jain. Okay. CMA Ajay Jain. He is my creditor. I need to pay him 45,000. Why? Because by 50,000 he will be credited. By 50,000 he will be credited. But 5,000 he will be debited for TDS. Net 45,000 I should pay. Then rest amount should be to TDS. Our liability is increased now by 5,000. Is it clear? This is the very important entry. It's a very important entry. You should check why I passed this kind of entry. You should check. Just check this entry. Check this entry. I'm giving you the 5 minutes. Is the entry is clear? Okay. Next, how can we pass this entry in Tally? CMA Ajay under should be sundry creditor. Okay, because we will purchase the services from CMA Ajay, so that's why CMA Ajay should be under sundry creditor. Now I'm passing this entry in Tally. Okay, escape, escape. I created a one nature of payment 194J. Now the ledger should be created. Create ledger, that is audit services account. It should be under indirect expenses. Okay, and TDS applicable is applicable. And what kind of nature it is? Fees for professional or technical services under 194J. Everything will be automatically there, but first make sure you create it in the proper manner. Enter, 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 enter. Now CMA Ajay Jain account. It should be under sundry creditor. Enter, enter. Now the thing is TDS detectable? Yes. You have to provide the assessee type. It's a individual resident. Deduct TDS in same voucher. Yes. Then you have to provide the PAN number. Remember, the student, if the PAN number is not there, then it will deduct 20%. Then PAN number should be there. Okay, it's my PAN. CMA Ajay Jain PAN. Now the last account is TDS account. It should be under duties and taxes. Then type of duty should be TDS, and it should be any. Because for every section, you should not create the ledger, different ledger. So it should be any. Control A. 3 ledger I created. Should I show you? 3 ledger I created. So first, I'm showing you the 3 ledgers. These are the ledgers. See, cash and P&L was the default. Now I created these ledgers. Is it? Okay, now start the, just pass the entry. Just pass the entry. Now how I can pass the entry? By pressing F7. F7. JV. Because TDS payable entry always be passed in the JV. And there is an option of, see, this is JV. Now the moment I press audit service account debit 50,000. Enter. Enter to CMA Ajay Jain. Enter. See, it is deducting automatically. It is automatically deducting the TDS amount to TDS. See, it's a very simple entry. Very simple entry. Deduct TDS. See, salary payable for CMA Ajay deducted 5,000 as TDS. And if you wish, then you can generate the reference number also. TDS 1. And this is salary 1. Now you can check the form number 26. Display more reports. Q. TDS report form number 26 due. See, 5,000 is there, na? Is it clear? Make sure you passed the entry in a correct way. Daybook, just pass this kind of entry. Is it clear? Anybody wants to ask something? Okay, TDS ledger, na? Okay, fine. See, I am showing you the TDS ledger. Alter, ledger, TDS. Anything else? Anything else? It's a TDS ledger, it's a CMA adjacent ledger. Make sure you enter the PAN number. Make sure you enter the PAN number. Okay. Now, the next is I provided here 30,000 rupees exemption limit. So if the services charge is less than 30,000, then TDS will not be applicable. Yes. Now we should pay the TDS to the income tax department. Bank also charge TDS on interest, definitely. On FDR, whatever interest we are getting, they will charge the TDS, they will deduct the TDS. Okay. But now suppose on 1st of May, again I have taken the services, F7, I have taken the services of 5,000 rupees from CMA adjacent. Then again TDS will be deducted because the total limit is 30,000 rupees and it exceeded the limit. Because in the first voucher, we already passed the 50,000. And now so in the next voucher, always the TDS will be deducted. Suppose on 1st June, again we are taking the audited services for 1,500. Then again the TDS will be deducted. See, Tele will automatically deduct. Only you need to take care about the how much amount it is deducting and how much amount we are paying. Is it clear? Okay, now next. This time I'm going to create a new CMA Romil account. 15. And the pen is invalid pen. Okay. Okay. But I'm purchasing the services for 20,000 only. For 20,000 only. So it will not deduct the TDS. Why? Because it is below the it is not deducting the TDS because it is below the threshold limit. It is below the threshold limit. Now the next month on 1st July, again I purchases the services from Romil 15,000. Okay, CMA Romil. Now CMA Romil crossed the limit. The threshold limit is crossed. 35,000 is there. Now it will deduct the TDS. Just a minute, it is not deducting. Previously, is TDS deductible? It should be yes, na? When it is individual resident controlling. Now it will deduct. See, again I am passing the entry. Audit service 15,000. This time I am only taking for the 15,000 rupees. The moment I take the 15,000 rupees, services in the previous, first of all, I should delete the previous entry. Why so? Because at that time it was not applicable. So I should first delete that entry. That is 20,000 rupees. All D. First of all, you should enable the TDS deductible, yes. CMA Romil. It should be deductible. Control A. Now, on 1st June, I'm taking the services from Romil only for 20,000 rupees. It will not deduct the TDS. Now the next month, I again have taken the services of 15,000 rupees. Now it crosses the limit. Okay, it crosses the limit. See, now TDS is deductible. There is no need to write down by yourself. Tally will automatically calculate it. Enter. Now TDS. Enter. See. The moment you press enter, now it is giving me the message. TDS is not deductible for previous voucher. Now you have to deduct on the previous voucher also. So set it yes. By default, it will automatically deduct. For the previous voucher, 20,000 services I have taken, 2,000 rupees is the TDS. Enter. Against which reference? 20,000 reference. This should be 2,000. Is it clear? Concept. If the concept are clear, then you can enter the entry in an easier way. But concept should be clear. If the concept are not clear, then it's not possible to enter the entry. Is it clear? Anybody have some doubt? Should I show you the entries, all entries, how I pass the entries? Bhumika, very good, Bhumika. Thank you so much. Crystal clear. Very good, Priyanshi. Why, Varda? What confusion is there? Please tell me. Varda, I'm getting your question. I feel little confused. Why? TDS is not automatically deducted. So Saira, first you should check the ledgers. I'm giving you the understanding of which kind of ledgers you should check. First, you should check the ledger of services. Here, the TDS applicable should be yes and nature of payment should be selected. Otherwise, you can create from here, Alt C. This nature of payment should be created in a right way. Okay. Just take the screenshot. Then you should check the creditor ledger. Who is your CMA? Romil. And here is a individual HUF. You should select the TDS applicable should be yes. Then individual HUF resident and deduct in same voucher yes. And you should provide the PAN number. Unless until PAN number is not there, it will deduct the 20%. Then TDS account. Here is TDS. You should select the type of duty TDS in any. Then I'm sure, damn sure it will deduct automatically. Tara, you should check. So many concepts. See, the thing is that we have time limit. We have to see, and the thing is that it's not a fast because already you are the students of CMA. So you know very well GST and everything. Only I gave you the brush up, but I gave you the complete understanding of Tally. I gave you the brush up of GST and TDS, but complete understanding of Tally, how can we enter the entries in Tally? See, just tried it. If again it is confusing, then tomorrow we will discuss about that. Okay. So I'm going to leave the session. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the patience listening. Bye and take care. Have a nice day.